Hey guys, and welcome to my Living Wyverns guide. Now if my voice sounds a little off, I have been sick for about a week, despite having scheduled uploads where I sound normal, so just so you know. Now these are very good Slayer experience and insane GP per hour, over 10 million GP per hour if you're doing them right, without any rare drops, which is a huge amount of money for a creature this easy. So when you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, to make this method easy, you do need some high requirements or stats that are recommended. You do require level 96 Slayer to kill these and to get these as a task, and level 89 plus Herbal, which can be boosted to make the Wyvern Fire Potions, but Overloads are also recommended at level 96. Level 95 plus Prey is recommended for Turmoil, and level 68 plus Summoning is recommended for a B Familiar if you need extra food, and 99 is very useful for Steel Titan to power slay these. You also require level 90 plus combat stats to have decent accuracy to kill these easily. Now the Wyverns themselves have very low hit points for the amount of experience they give. They have 22,500 life points, they are level 127 combat, they give 1859 common experience per kill, and a whopping 1878.8 Slayer experience per kill. These can actually be assigned per Kuradel, Morvran, and Ikea Girl aka Laniaka. Now the Wyverns make you a lot of money because of the consistent drops they have, and the Wyvern bones are especially worth a lot of money, and if you note them using magic notepaper you can make a lot of money every task. They also have some rare drops, being the Draconic Visage, the Cursed Amaskut Sand, Wyvern Spines, a Raptor Key Part 1, and the Wyvern Crossbow, which is around 70 million GP. The reason you want to be doing Wyverns with melee is because if you stand from a distance, the Wyverns will use ranged and magic attacks which deal a lot more damage than the actual melee attacks. This is why melee is the best combat style here without discussion. Melee is particularly useful here because of the Scrimshaw Vampirism which you can buy off the Grand Exchange can help you out to heal here if you do not have the Vampirism aura. Now, as for your gear setup, use the best melee gear you have. If you don't have high tier gear, you can get away with Anima Core or Torva, which is, it's kind of high tier, but don't use Bandos because you will take a lot of damage. You can definitely do it, but you'll just have to bank more often or take a yak. The higher tier of armor you have, the easier it's going to be, and the same can be said with your weapons. If you have Jorigors and a Scythe, it's going to be much easier. You're going to be using your dual wield weapons mainly here, and you'll switch to your Scythe if two attack you at once, or this one next to you can use Hurricane or Quake to AoE them down. As for your inventory, you want to have some emergency food, the drops of course, your overloads, super restores for prayer, the worm fire potions which are required, a anti-poison plus flask, because the venom blood perk does not actually work here. You need to use this anti-poison plus because you're going to be using this potion to negate some of the poison damage while you're building up the cold so that the poison damage actually disappears completely at around 70% cold, I believe. Now you also want to have a Spring Cleaner 9001 if you have it. If you do not, you'll have to manually pick up the noted rune salvage, but the 9001 Spring Cleaner actually alks it. Now this is completely optional, but you can also bring along a shield for when a Wyvern attacks you from range because they are kind of aggressive, to switch to actually resonance the hit for a free 2-3k heal, but again you don't need this if you're using a Scrimshaw Vampirism and you have high tier armored weapons. Now to get there manually you have to walk from the Port Sam Lodestone to the Ice Dungeon. You can also get here using your Dungeoneering Cape Teleport or using a Horde Starker Ring, which is a reward from Dungeoneering. But if you just want to walk there, it's fine. It doesn't take that long at all. It takes around a minute. And once you're there, you have to go through the Skeletal Wyvern room and then go inside the Living Wyvern room and you are there. Be sure to sip your Worm Fire Potion before going inside actually. Once inside, be sure to sip all of your potions you need, your overloads, your anti-poison plus, etc. Now inside this area you can see it's rather icy. There's these unlit campfires around the area. If you light these campfires and you stand nearby, your warmth goes up and your cold goes down. You can see the cold percentage on the debuff bar on your screen. Now you can sit around 25% cold if you want to, and I did this the first time I got a task of these a long time ago, but you take a huge amount of damage doing this and you may need to eat food more often. So ideally what you want to sit around is around 65 to 85% cold. If it gets close to 90%, light a fire immediately or try and hop worlds or leave the area, because once it reaches 90% you get stunned constantly and it just becomes awful and you want to leave. So 65 to 85% cold, you should be fine. You'll take the least amount of damage overall, and your Scrimswell Vampirism will help you out a bunch. Now the Wyverns do hit very hard, and this is why you want to be using the melee prey. You can also use Devotion or Debilitate every now and then, but you kill them rather quickly, so Devotion would be the better option to use to negate some of the damage. Now, as for picking up the drops, this is the only problem I personally have because my inventory is so full and I'm not even using switches. I'm not using a crazy, invention switching setup because I don't need to, and I still get a lot of experience and money here. But you're constantly picking up the drops and you have to, drop a piece of food to know the bones, and sometimes you get two on you at the same time. You kill them both. If you have the upgraded Bone Crusher, it will automatically pick those up, which does save you time, but you do have to have free inventory spaces for that. Now personally, I was getting around 228 kills per hour, being over 400,000 Slayer experience per hour, also 400,000 combat experience per hour, and 10 million GP per hour. I'll show you what I made in one task in just a second, but these are such good money, it's ridiculous. They're super fun to kill, they're really easy, you just need to have the high requirements met, and you should be good to go. Now, as you can see here, this is what I made from my first task when I did record this. 2.4 million GP, and I know there's noted salvage there. That's because my sprinkler settings weren't actually changed at the time, but that's a lot of money for 14.5 minutes of work. And in basic math, that's 10 million GP per hour in raw consistent drops. And occasionally you can also get yourself those rare drops like that sand that's worth 10 million GP, which I did actually get off task from the first skill for some weird reason. Lucky me. But you can also get the Wyvern crossbow, and it's also part of the Slayer drop log. So these are incredibly good money, and they are a lot of fun to do. So I definitely recommend doing these tasks if you have the gear and the requirements met. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this Slayer guide and found it helpful. If you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.